Hello, everybody. Welcome to another. Laura's already laughing at me. We're just starting. Laura's already laughing at me. Welcome to another amazing live stream where us, the Disney and Universal vacation planning experts, are here to share our amazing excitement, positivity, knowledge, all the things.
All the things.
All the things with you all about Disney World, Universal, Disneyland, Disney Cruise, all those amazing destination vacations. And today we are specifically talking about how to honeymoon in Disney World. Laura, I know that you and Terry spend lots of romantic evenings all the time at Disney, don't you?
Yes, we do.
I think you're muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, it says I'm on.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Okay, it says you unmuted my mic. Now, can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Oh, maybe I was doing it.
You were doing it.
Well, you see, guys, see how much fun we have? We get started with these lives and we pretend like we can't hear each other when we can't hear each other. Actually, I was trying a new microphone, and this is the culprit. That's why I couldn't hear you. Okay. So you live and you learn. So maybe everyone heard you, and I acted like I couldn't hear. So we're just gonna move on and say yes. You like to spend time with Terry.
I did.
Disney World. The reason why I want to talk about this is because Valentine's Day is this weekend, and we love. I mean, there's something uniquely special about helping couples plan Disney World vacations, and we'll do another live video later about Disneyland and Disney Cruises and some of those other destinations. But I want to talk about Walt Disney World because, first of all, it's open right now, and second of all, because I actually honeymooned in Disney World with my husband, and so I remember distinctly my honeymoon experience, and I want people to know just how magical and amazing a honeymoon can be. So I thought, Laura, we would start off by talking about the best time for couples to go. And full disclosure, if you're like, but I already got married, I already had my honeymoon, no worries. Like, this can be an anniversary. This can be a romantic getaway. This can be a just because. This can be a renewal of your vows, whatever it is. I'm just so excited about talking about romance because it's always about kids, and we love kids and we love families, but it's about to get spicy and love in the air. And I have all these Disney love songs playing through my head right now. Like, Can You Feel the Love Tonight? I don't know why, but it's like playing in the back of my head right now. But yeah, so why don't we start, Laura, talk about the best time of the year for honeymooners. So you're getting hitched and you're like, we're going to Disney World to celebrate our marriage or anniversary or whatever it is. So what do you think?
Well, anytime is the best time to go, but I would recommend going like maybe in late September. The parks are usually a little bit slower. There's some really good deals out there, and you have a little more time for just you. But you can still enjoy the resorts. I mean, it's Florida. You can always enjoy the weather and the pools and all the romantic places to go. And there's so many amazing restaurants to have, a beautiful couples romantic dinner in. You can go to the California Grill and just sit and watch the fireworks. One of our favorites is we go to Narcoossee's. That's one of our all-time.
Okay, I gotta slow your roll, Laura, because we're gonna talk about restaurants in a second. So I want to slow the roll. But so September, right? Because September is after the kids have basically gone back to school. It's a great time for couples for sure to go there. Also, if you're not familiar with Florida weather, it's really important for people that live in Florida. It rains, especially in the summer. It rains every day. There's like afternoon showers, and so many people get caught off guard by that. It's why it's great to have an expert like us to help you plan your vacation, because we will tell you these things about the weather, because Disney is not going to showcase pictures of rain in their marketing. But September is not so much of a wet month, first of all. Second of all, it's cooling off. Like August is like the hottest, like especially the beginning of August, mid-August is like the hottest in all the land in Florida.
It can be warm.
Yeah, so September is cooler. You also have Mickey's Not Scary Halloween Party, Halloween decorations that are starting to go up, which we really do hope that comes back this year in the fall of 2021. So that's two huge reasons that September is great. I also, Laura, I love a couple other times to go too. I love going either the 1st of November or the 1st of December when the park is decorated for Christmas. The 1st of November, it starts to cool off. December, it's even more cool. The only caveat of going at the beginning of December is means you probably got married like right after Thanksgiving. And that just sounds like that would be a challenge to get married around Thanksgiving sounds like a challenge. So beginning of November, before Thanksgiving, as long as you don't mind, I don't know, free traveling and seeing everybody again during Thanksgiving, I think those are good times because Christmas is so magical at Walt Disney World, from all the trees and the way the resorts are decorated, and a Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, the hard ticket event at the Magic Kingdom. I just think there's so much love during that. Now, if you're a big picture fan, I mean, pictures are a big deal on a honeymoon, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think Flower and Garden is also a great time to go. To get some really romantic pictures over at the Canada Pavilion at Epcot on your honeymoon, because they have those beautiful gardens and everything else. I love Flower and Garden so much, and that's actually starting really, really soon. And that goes usually March through early of June, late May. So if you were going to do that, go at the beginning of May, right after all the spring breaks, right after Easter, before everybody's out of school. That's a great time to go. It is warming up a little bit, but it's not that August heat. You know what I mean? What do you think?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. And, and I love like that first week of January as well. It's always a good time in January too. So.
January is probably the absolute slowest month right after the new year. After all the new year crowds have cleared, is probably the most slowest month in all the year of Disney World.
Yeah.
The one thing that I always tell people they have to be aware of is check the refurbishment calendar, because that's when the refurbishments start too, right?
Exactly.
So if you plan around making sure you get to ride those rides you really want to ride, then it's all gravy to go there too. That's a great suggestion. So let's talk about the most romantic Disney hotels, Laura. If you had to start telling people, okay, this is where we're gonna get the magic on, in the room and everything else for the honeymoon and amenities and all that kind of stuff. What I have my list. I have my list here. But let's go back and forth a little bit. So tell me, what would be like one of a couple of your top choices?
Well, believe it or not, I love the Gran Destino Tower. It's a moderate resort, but I love the tower. Those rooms are amazing, and the hotel just has so much to offer. That's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, so if people aren't familiar with Gran Destino Tower, it actually opened in 2019, and it's actually on Coronado Springs Resort property. And I stayed there this year, and actually we have a video, so I'll put a link to that so you guys can watch the video of our complete walkthrough of Gran Destino Tower. It is a beautiful moderate resort hotel. I completely agree with Laura there. And a lot of people don't realize the backstory of it, that it's actually inspired by the film Gran Destino, which was a collaboration between Walt Disney and Salvador Dali. So there's a lot of Salvador Dali influences in that resort hotel. It's really, really beautiful. Would not be my honeymoon choice hotel. And you're going to laugh when I tell you why. I like rooms that have carpet. The Gran Destino Tower rooms don't have carpet. They have like the I don't think they're real hardwood floors. They're like the fake hardwood. I mean, they're beautiful rooms, but like I like to take off my socks and like fist with my toes, like Bruce Willis and Die Hard. You know what I mean? So I have to say, like, Great Destino wouldn't be my top one, but it is beautiful, and I could completely see why you recommend that. A couple of the ones that I would love, my top two would be Animal Kingdom Lodge, because especially if you get a Savannah view room where you can wake up and see the animals, and the lobby, and it's just a breathtaking Disney resort hotel. I love Animal Kingdom Lodge so much. That would be one of my top ones. And I know you love this hotel too, Laura, because we've talked about this previously for our clients, but the Yacht and Beach Club, especially the Yacht Club.
Love Yacht Club.
Yeah, the Yacht Club is a gorgeous, gorgeous Disney resort property. They have the amazing pool that has a sand bottom in there. And that right there is like a huge romantic piece, you know, I don't know, a sand bottom pool, like that's so romantic. And its location is amazing because the location is over right across from Disney's Boardwalk. It's walking distance to Epcot, Hollywood Studios. They have the boats and the ferries that go there. And over at the Boardwalk, since you can walk right over to the Boardwalk, you have the restaurants over there you can eat at, like the Flying Fish and the Italian restaurant. The name is escaping me right now.
Yeah.
What is it? They had the. I'll get it. I'll come back to it.
Something Trattoria. Oh, I can't think of it. We had breakfast there. The breakfast is really.
Well, yeah, because they had the princess and prince breakfast over there. The Bon Voyage breakfast is what it was called, with Ariel and Eric and yeah. So anyway, I love that resort hotel as well. You know, a lot of people talk about Grand Floridian. How do you feel about Grand Floridian?
The Grand Floridian it's very nice. It's very pretty. It's just not high on my list, though. I would actually, before I stayed at the Floridian, Wilderness Lodge. I love Wilderness Lodge.
I have some clients that like that's the only place they want to stay is Wilderness Lodge. They just love Wilderness Lodge. Why do you love Wilderness Lodge over Grand Floridian? I mean, that's like, to some people that's like sacrilegious.
Well, I know, but I like at the Wilderness Lodge, you can go cuddle up in front of that giant fireplace. There's so many little intimate areas all through there that you can go sit and be cozy and not be like right out in the open or sitting in the middle of the lobby kind of thing. There's just so many places because it's so wooded and it's just cozy and it just feels romantic to me. My husband and I love that resort. We try and stay there as often as we can whenever we go and stay.
Yeah.
I'm always looking for, get me the best deal.
Yeah, Jessie is saying, I'm dying to stay at the Towers, and she loves Animal Kingdom Lodge. She stayed there with Savannah View, and it was gorgeous.
It is. It's very pretty. It's
So here's some other hotels that I think people like. Here's the thing. Here's my feeling about Grand Floridian. It is beautiful. If you were to walk in the lobby of the Grand Floridian, there's no doubt that it is a breathtaking. It is absolutely gorgeous. You know, the gingerbread house during Christmas time. The tree during Christmas time, it is a breathtaking resort. But in terms of like the overall amenities and the actual rooms itself, and it's for me, it's just not as special as some of the other resort hotels for the honeymoon couple. A Boardwalk would be on my list too. I've stayed at the Boardwalk. Whereas like,
Boardwalk.
I would choose Yacht Club over Boardwalk any day. I would choose Yacht Club over Boardwalk. Now here's some hotels people don't think about because some people don't mind staying off Disney property. The Four Seasons in Orlando is gorgeous. And I know you love this hotel, Laura. The Swan and Dolphin is also
love.
That Swan and Dolphin and also the Four Seasons are also fantastic choices. I mean, Four Seasons, you can't get more romantic than that. Someone said the Wilderness Lodge feels very quaint to be such a big place. It does, yeah. Wilderness Lodge does feel kind of intimate. And now they have, you know, the Disney Vacation Club's Copper Creek Villas and Boulder Ridge Villas, right? Which are, if you wanted to be a little bit more secluded than staying in the actual lodge, but be in those all surroundings and stuff, that's a great place.
Well,
for
at the Polynesian, the over the water bungalows on the Polynesian, that's the ultimate honeymoon place. Let me tell you, I did a tour of those over the water bungalows. Oh my goodness, those are fabulous.
Yeah, and but there are more than one rooms. They're like, what, 2 bedrooms?
It's a 2-bedroom. It's a little house. It's 2 bedrooms. But it's got a private plunge pool, and so you can sit out on the deck and you can just watch, you know, the water parade go by. You can be sitting in your little plunge pool having cocktails, watching the fireworks and stuff. Oh yeah, sign me up.
Excuse me, bring me another cocktail, please.
Absolutely.
We'd like some strawberries dipped in chocolate.
Yes.
Yes. That's exactly how it goes over at the Polynesian bungalow villas.
Yes.
Now, if you have a honeymoon couple that's more on a budget, where would you recommend they stay at Walt Disney World? I have a couple in my head.
Well, if they're on a budget, there's some different things. It depends on the budget. But if they're looking more value, well, then you can go over and stay in the All-Stars, and they actually do have a king-size bed. They have a room with a king-size bed. You can do, going over into the moderates, of course, the Gran Destino Tower. I mean, you're not going to beat that. You're just not going to beat that. I would send my clients to Gran Destino, honestly, if they were kind of budget conscious, going for more of a moderate resort. I would say probably that, just because of the views and how pretty it is.
Well, Coronado has a huge lake, and they also, the pool, the dig site pool is absolutely amazing. We had someone say you can stay at the bungalows and never need to go to the park to spend your time there. That is true at the Polynesian Resort, but you're also at Disney World. You want to go to the parks.
Yes.
You want to go to the parks. So when I have clients that are on a budget, there's 2 hotels that I recommend specifically for honeymoons on a budget. One is Port Orleans, French Quarter. They have a pretty cool pool as well, but they have the beignets, which are amazing. And it really does feel like New Orleans when you're walking around the complex with all the ironwork and everything else. I think it's just a really fun environment and atmosphere to celebrate. They said honeymoon budget Coronado complex for sure. The other place that I think is fantastic is Pop Century. Like, the Pop Century went through a huge remodel, and if you're on a budget, I would choose Pop Century. It's on the Skyliner route, and everybody watching our YouTube channel, our video, and all of our clients know that I love the Skyliner route because it makes it so easy to get to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. It really is a game changer. Our last live video, we talked about group vacation planning and how if families are staying at different resort hotels because they have different budgets, the Skyliner route, just get the hotels on the Skyliner route so that everybody can meet up. I love the Skyliner. So the Pop Century has to be on there for the budget for me, for sure.
Yeah. Caribbean is also good for that. They have some very nice, sweet little rooms that are kind of tucked away at Caribbean Beach that you could do.
Yeah, that is a good option too. I've stayed at Caribbean Beach too. I think if I had to choose, again, like I said, if I had to choose my one resort hotel, my 1 or 2, it would definitely be Animal Kingdom Lodge, Savannah View Room, or Yacht Club. Those would be my top 2 honeymoon hotels. Yep, over Grand Floridian. Probably, even over Contemporary Resort. I honestly be Animal Kingdom. I'm just a fan. I just think, where else can you get a Savannah View room and overlook animals and have like the Disney service and the Disney Imagineering and all the touches?
I mean, if you can get a room at the tower at the Contemporary over the DVC Tower, if you can get a room
Bay Lake Tower.
Yeah, Bay Lake Towers. Oh, they have some beautiful rooms over there and some gorgeous views. Very romantic.
They do. Those are romantic too. But I'd also have to say you have to like contemporary furniture, like you have to be, it is very contemporary. I love a contemporary resort, but some people don't like it because it's so contemporary, but I love it. So I think that's a great suggestion too.
We stayed in the penthouse at the, over there at Bay Lake Tower, and oh, yes. Yes, please. Yes, please.
Well, let's talk about the most romantic Disney restaurants. You started talking about that earlier, so let's dive right into the most romantic Disney restaurants. What would you say are your like top 3 most romantic Disney restaurants?
Well, one of them I haven't been to yet, Victoria and Albert's. I want to do that. But California Grill, I mean, the view is beautiful. The view is gorgeous. I love Narcoossee's. It's kind of a casual, formalish kind of. I mean, it's amazing. It's beautiful. It can be very romantic because you can go sit out on the deck and watch the fireworks go off and take your champagne out there with you. It's wonderful. How about you? What are your favorites?
So I have a couple of favorites. So one of them is, we're going back to Animal Kingdom Lodge. One of them is going to be Jiko, the cooking place.
Yes.
Jiko, the cooking place. If Jesse's like California Grill, SDK, and Jiko, like Jesse's like, I know this. And someone else said Contemporary Park View is the ultimate for a honeymoon couple. Yeah, that view, if you have the view, you are right. I don't know, but I saw about the animals. But here's the thing about Jiko. Jiko, you all, was actually beat out Victoria and Albert's in 2019, and I think maybe in 2020 before it closed, for like rating and reviews. And Jiko has amazing steak, amazing African influence fare, and the reason why they call it the cooking place is because they have a set mini kitchen in the middle of the restaurant where the chefs cook all the appetizers, and there's like 6 stools that are at the cooking place where you can talk to the chefs while they cook the appetizers and have a full dining experience there. Yes. And a lot of people don't know this. We do, and we tell our clients about this, but a lot of people don't know this, that the easiest way to do that is to actually get a reservation, the earliest reservation you can. And right now with COVID, Jiko hasn't quite reopened yet, neither has Victoria and Albert's, but that's okay. But you get the earliest reservation possible, which is usually around 5 or 5:30. You show up 15 or 20 minutes before your reservation, sign in at the desk, and tell them that you would like to request a spot at the cooking place. And it works. Now, there is a dress code. You can't wear sleeveless shirts. I found that out and had to change clothes before we ate. But it is delicious food. The service was amazing. And being able to talk to the chefs was hands down just it's a whole nother dimension for me. So that was amazing. Yeah. Someone else said I sat at Jiko counter and it was amazing.
Yep, we did. I had my whole family there. We took 5 of the seats, so nobody sat with us, and we had the whole thing to ourselves. It was amazing.
Yeah, that is amazing. And Jesse said we sat there and they were awesome. They gave us things to go taste and had amazing conversations. Yeah, the conversations and that's an amazing place. So Jiko would definitely be one of them. Victoria and Albert's, I know that is like one of the big ones that everybody preaches about for a honeymoon. And I have not eaten there. However, I did eat at Remy's on a Disney cruise ship, and everyone says the Remy's experience is basically the same as the Victoria Albert's experience.
That's right.
And I have to admit that I was a little uncomfortable. Like, it was a little bit over the top for me, and the presentation. And also, I'm from Texas. I'm like, where's the rest of the food? Like, it's like those little tiny pieces. And I'm like, where's the big steak? Where's the 20 ounce? Like, that's like 2 ounces, But it's all, But yeah, it's about the experience. So if you want like a high romantic experience, then definitely Victoria and Albert's is definitely one that's an experience. Someone said, I want to do California Grill. California Grill, I think is also one of those that a lot of people have on their list. And I definitely recommend that to honeymoon couples because of the view from the Contemporary overlooking Cinderella's castle at night and the fireworks. The food is delicious. I have eaten there and it's absolutely out of this world food, delicious. A couple other ones though that I want to mention that I know people are like, but that's not like, you're at Disney. Like, let's talk about Be Our Guest and Cinderella's Royal Table. I mean, Cinderella's Royal Table is a great honeymoon, whether it's breakfast or dinner, because you're in Cinderella's castle. Like, what is more honeymoon, happily ever after, romantic engagements, anniversary to me than Cinderella's Royal Table? I mean, I think that's an amazing place to have a dinner and even Be Our Guest, which is not as Cinderella's Royal Table is actually quite small. If people have not been there before, it's actually not a huge dining area.
No, it's not.
When you go into Be Our Guest, it's a pretty big dining room, especially the big hall, the banquet hall area. And then you have the Rose Room, and then you have the West Wing. And a lot of people too, Laura, they get confused with Be Our Guest that the West Wing is actually where the Rose is, because the Rose Room is not where the Enchanted Rose is. The Enchanted Rose is in the West Wing. And so people get confused and they show up and they go, I want to request the Rose Room. And then they get the Rose Room and they get upset because the Enchanted Rose isn't in there.
No.
But I think Be Our Guest is a great spot too. I think the food is really good. I do wish they would go back to the a la carte menu as opposed to the prefix menu. I think the food was a little bit better, but they did it because everybody wanted to eat there. And so it makes it easier for them to serve everybody. Paula on the Disney cruise, one of my top 5 of all time. Yeah, Paula is amazing.
Ooh,
on the Disney cruise.
So good.
Yeah, they said the castle food is decent, but the setting is what it's all about. So when I went and dined at Cinderella's Royal Table for my birthday 2 years ago, was it 2 years ago? Maybe it was less than a year ago. Everything's blended together now. I thought the food was pretty good. I did. Now, I agree with you that there's nothing like actually eating inside Cinderella's castle. I mean, that's just, especially if you look out and get a window view that overlooks either the Main Street USA or the backside of Fantasyland. Like, you can't beat that for a honeymoon.
Yeah.
For sure. So I want to talk about a couple other restaurants that I think deserve a mention, because I think people are going to be upset if we don't mention these. Maybe they heard about them. And I'm just curious to get your thoughts, and I'll share my thoughts. But Le Cellier and Canada Pavilion at Epcot. That's good. Like a.
It's good. It's not my top favorite at all. But I mean, it's good. I mean, give me STK over that any day and twice on Sunday.
I see. That's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say, if you are thinking about steak for your honeymoon, I mean, Gico for sure would still be at the top of my list, but I think STK is a much better option at Disney Springs as opposed to Le Cellier. Yeah. Not that Le Cellier isn't have good food. They have amazing poutine. You can get like the beer cheese stew. You can get the poutine at almost all the festivals now in the booths. So there's not really a reason, for getting steak to go to Le Cellier. I would just go to STK instead for sure. And actually, that was on my list and I was gonna bring up Yachtsman Steakhouse too. I ate there. I wasn't that impressed with Yachtsman Steakhouse. I would again say STK.
STK, yeah. I haven't found anybody that beats STK yet.
Yeah. Jesse said, table for 2 in the bar is all candle lights. Someone else said Le Cellier is good, but overrated for the cost. I think if you're going to spend the money, I think it's better to do, for sure, STK. Now, two other restaurants that we should at least mention: Monsieur Paul.
I've eaten at Monsieur Paul.
And
I would probably not eat there for dinner, but dessert, go up there for dessert and cocktails. Wow, that ball dessert that they have, holy smokes, that thing was amazing. But you know, like you thought the food was a little pretentious at Remy's on the boat, I thought Monsieur Paul was a little pretentious.
Now, do you think that dessert is going to beat Jack's Cookie Num Num over at Hollywood Studios?
Oh, of course.
I don't know. I'm all about the Jack cookie. That's like my favorite. That's my favorite snack in all of Walt Disney World right now.
Well, and when you go, we'll get you one.
All right. What about the Boathouse?
The Boathouse, I think, is fine for like lunch. I don't think it's not a fine dining, in my opinion. It's a, you know, go grab a lobster roll kind of place.
If you're into lobster rolls.
If you're into lobster rolls.
My husband would be all about the lobster rolls. I think that's a good, accurate statement, a better for lunch as opposed to dinner. But make sure you get the coupon for the amphibia cars, because if you dine there, you get a coupon that you can use for the amphibia cars over at Disney Springs. I'm throwing San Angel Inn on here too, just because of ambiance. It's not really I wouldn't say it's like romantic, but like that and the drive-in, sci-fi dine-in over at Hollywood Studios. Those are just fun places that I think a honeymoon couple should do, especially if sci-fi drive-in. The honeymoon couple is gonna have to hitchhike.
Yeah.
If you guys aren't familiar with sci-fi drive-in, your table's a car and they seat 6. So if there's a couple, they usually have a family of 4 in the 2 of the areas and then 2 in the back. Now, because of COVID right now, probably going to look out and not have to hitchhike. But usually every time my husband and I have gone, we're always hitchhiking. So we're just hitchhikers in sci-fi dine-in always.
Yep. Great burgers and milkshakes there.
Yes. Okay, so now let's talk about creating extra magic. How do we create extra romance and magic when you're doing a honeymoon at Disney World?
Oh my gosh. My husband he ordered from the Disney online service where they'll deliver stuff to your room. And he had the sweetest little bag made for me with my name on it, and then a bottle of wine, and surprised me in our room. That was a lot of fun. The different room celebrations you can do are a lot of fun and can be very romantic as well.
Oh, yeah. They call them the in-room celebrations. They have, and I've done that at Disneyland and Disney World and Disney Cruise. And I love them so much. I always recommend them to honeymoon couples or anniversary couples or engagement couples or just couples. That they're so, even if you have someone has a birthday too, they do those things. We did one that was a villain package, and it had villain chocolates. It had sparkling, they have sparkling grapefruit juice if you're not an alcohol person. So it had sparkling grapefruit juice, chocolate. It had like a villain's sign with like autographs and stuff on there. We also did one that had the rose petals. And actually, you see this? Wait, I'm backwards on my camera. You see the red one right here? That was from an in-room celebration. This red one right here.
This one was from mine.
Yes. Yeah. I think the in-room celebrations are a great way. And of course, when everyone's vaccinated because of COVID, hopefully the VIP tours come back. The Wild Africa Safari Trek is an amazing thing to do on your Disney World vacation. If you guys aren't familiar with that, you basically get on a private van, like a more bougie version of Kilimanjaro Safari van. And you get to go through the savannah. You stop, you have lunch or breakfast out on the savannah at Animal Kingdom Park. And you also get harnessed in and walk across the crocodiles and the hippos on those wooden plank bridges. It's so fun. Have you done that one, Laura?
I have not. It's on my list to do because you know me, I'm all about the tours. I'm going to do them all.
Yeah, the dessert parties, of course, you can't go wrong with those when those come back. My husband and I also did archery. A lot of people don't realize that you can do archery. So at Disney's Fort Wilderness Lodge and Campground and the whole wilderness area, okay, they have a whole section where you can do kayaking and canoeing and horseback riding at the ranch, and then archery. So my husband and I actually did archery. So I was like Katniss Everdeen from the Hunger Games. It was really fun. Yeah, so those are some amazing things. And then the newest one, which I'm like, anybody going to Disney World, I'm telling them they need to do this. And that's the capture your moment. Do you want to tell them about that, Laura, the capture your moment?
The photo we did?
No, the capture your moment, the 20-minute photo session.
Oh, that one. Okay. I forget that they call it that. Yeah. It's 20 minutes with a photographer and they take you around Magic Kingdom. Now it's only in Magic Kingdom right now, but they'll take you around and do these beautiful portraits all over the park. And it's 20 minutes and you would be shocked at how many pictures those people can take in 20 minutes. But then you have these beautiful pictures of you and your spouse and, you know, these side views of Cinderella Castle and over by Cinderella's fountain and the wishing well. And I mean, just all over Magic Kingdom. They're amazing.
Yeah. So it's $50 for a 20-minute session. You can do up to 3 back-to-back, up to a full hour. And the first one has to be at Cinderella's castle, and then the next 2 can be wherever you want them to be.
Yeah.
And that is, I mean, I'm ready. Like I want that might be our Christmas cards. Dustin doesn't know it yet. My husband doesn't know it yet, but that might be our Christmas cards. We might not. I mean, $50 for a 20-minute session. You can get a lot of pictures.
A lot of pictures.
And especially right now because of COVID with reduced capacity. There's not going to be a lot of people in your background. So especially if you go on a Tuesday and a Thursday, you guys want to know the best days to go to the parks, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays and Thursdays are the best days.
That couple get engaged right there at Cinderella's wishing well.
Yes, we did. And we were doing a video on the best Instagram photo spots at the Magic Kingdom. So I can put a link for that one too. But yeah, I think the capture moment is amazing. There's a phone number you can call to reserve it in advance, or if we're planning your vacation, we do that for you. But yeah, that's amazing. Somebody said the fireworks, can you still do the pontoon boats to watch the fireworks? After COVID, probably. And I will say that I did the Pirates and Pals fireworks voyage, and I would not recommend it. The viewing of the fireworks on the boat was great with the music pumped in, but the actual experience of the dessert portion was like, what? It was at Contemporary Resort, and it was like crispy treats, cupcakes, cookies, like, and everything else you could buy at like Sam's Club or Target. And this was the Contemporary. So, and that's the first dessert party that I've ever said, like, it's not worth it. Because I love the dessert parties.
Those are fun.
And I love fireworks. So, I think those are like all the major highlights that I can think of, Laura. Now, if you all are watching this and you're like, I want to plan my romantic getaway to Disney World honeymoon, engagement party, just because renewing of your vows, anniversary, you can look us up, Magicland Vacations, schedule that complimentary consultation, magiclandvacations.com/quote. And of course, if you're watching us on Facebook, keep watching all the amazing content that we send out. We love to hear stories and your Disney love and just geek out on Disney and Universal vacations with you all. And you know what we love to do? We love to help families save time, save stress, save hassle, create extra magic on their Disney and Universal destination vacations. Laura, any final thoughts on the best honeymoon spot and about the best honeymoon romantic getaway to Disney World?
I think we've covered most of them. But in the end, it doesn't matter. You're with the person you love. Any place in Disney World is going to be magical as long as you're with the person you love.
That is true. Any place you love. Oh, I do have one last thing, Laura, that we forgot to mention. And that is, if you stay to the very end of the Magic Kingdom closing, the colors on Cinderella's castle changes to pink, and it's the kiss goodnight.
Yes.
It's the kiss goodnight. So that a lot of people don't know that, but that's the one last tip that I have for the perfect romantic Disney World vacation. Well, my name is Brandon. I'm the owner of Magic Land Vacation. This is Laura. She's one of our amazing Disney and Universal travel planning experts. Thank you so much for joining us to this amazing Facebook Live. And we hope you have an amazing rest of your evening and have a magical day tomorrow. Bye, everybody.